Dear participants, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the Horizon Europe Cluster 2 Info Day. My name is Minna Vilkki and I am the head of Department Future Society at the European Research Executive Agency. Today's event will provide you with all the information on the upcoming funding opportunities under the 2026 work programme on culture, creativity and inclusive society, Cluster 2 of Horizon Europe. At the European Research Executive Agency, we fund high-quality research and innovation projects, and we hope this Info Day will help you prepare excellent and successful applications. Some of you might have already watched the videos presenting the expectations outlined in each of the 26 call topics. We have also provided videos on the call process to guide you in your project proposal preparation. All these videos will remain available on the Research and Innovation platform, together with the recordings of today's sessions. Today will be about answering to your questions. I invite you to submit them via Slido using the code #CL2InfoDay. Please choose the right room in Slido under which you would like to ask your question and specify the call topic. You will find a room for each destination of Cluster 2, as well as a separate room for any general questions about the application process or cross-cutting issues. As for today's program, at 10 o'clock Brussels time, we will start with the session on destination democracy and governance. At 11:15, we will have the session on the calls on cultural heritage and the cultural and creative industries. And at 12:15, we will break for lunch. We will resume at 1:30 with the destination social and economic transformations. And I will meet you again at 2:45 for the final part of the day, focusing on cross-cutting issues, practical tips for applicants, and key novelties of the call. The questions that we cannot answer today will be published in the frequently asked questions on this website. You may also get in touch with your national contact point, the NCPs, and if no solution is found, you can always reach out to the Research Inquiry Service. It is now my pleasure to pass the floor to our three Cluster 2 co-chairs. Pilar Aguar Fernandez, she's a director at DG Research and Innovation. Stefan Hermans, director at DG Education, Youth, Sport and Culture. And Jeroen Jette, director at DG Employment, Social Affairs and Inclusion. They will present the policy priorities that have shaped this work program, as well as the policy expectations. And in the meantime, do not hesitate to put your burning questions on Slido using #CL2InfoDay and by choosing the right room. I wish you all a productive day and pass the floor to you, Pilar.
Thank you, Minna. Thank you very much and welcome to all our viewers. I am Pilar Aguar Fernandez, Director in DG Research and Innovation. Welcome everyone to this Horizon Europe Cluster 2 Info Day. We're here to present the 2026 Work Programme for Culture, Creativity and Inclusive Society to citizens and potential applicants. This is a 2-year work programme, but today's Info Day is only about the calls of 2026. However, it is also part of a 3-year strategic plan that is running from 2025 to 2027, which is the last one for Horizon Europe. We should keep in mind that many essential research topics have already been funded in the first 5 years of this program. Okay, to recap, Cluster 2 research aims to bolster the resilience of democratic systems, protect democratic governance from threats and enhance citizen participation, safeguard and promote cultural heritage, and support innovation in the cultural creative industries, anticipating the social, economical, technological and cultural transformations that our societies are facing. And finally, it is also aiming at providing evidence-based policy options for a society that is just, fair and includes an inclusive transition. Let's now take a closer look at an important part of this work program, our new calls for innovative research on democracy and governance. Let me first refer to the policy context of this important area. The rule of law, respect for human rights, and democracy are foundational values of the EU, and they are laid down in the Article 2 of the Treaty of the European Union. And one of the key Commission priorities for 24-29 is protecting our democracy and upholding our values. Threats to our democracy societies are increasing. Even the more traditionally well-functioning democracies face challenges, requiring them to continuously adapt as the conditions change. So in this context, the Commission has adopted in November 25, the European Democracy Shield Initiative. This initiative sets out EU actions to strengthen democratic resilience, to boost citizen engagement, and to fight disinformation and foreign information manipulation and interference. In this context, research and innovation play a critical role in these fields, as they maintain and expand a really vigorous evidence base in the form of knowledge, data, and scientifically robust recommendations. And they provide also the foundation for innovative solutions that address complex challenges that threaten our democracy. So mainstreaming these solutions and acting on these recommendations will help us build a more resilient and inclusive democracy. It will also improve the critical thinking and rebuild the citizens' trust in democracy and its institutions. More specifically, in the Work Programme 2026, we will fund research ideas that can be divided in three main broad areas. Firstly, how to enhance the understanding of the various different forms of democracy and governance in different countries. We will fund research on understanding the forms of local democracy in low-income and low-middle-income countries. How can we govern global commons, which are resources shared by the humanity as a whole, in a sustainable way? And how can we increase our understanding of government in transition, how governments change the way they work and prepare for the civil society and service for the future? Secondly, how to increase the resilience of democracy in face of the external and internal challenges. This research will help us understand the electoral integrity in the digital context. It will also support post-conflict democracy and reconstruction. It will tackle gender-based violence against politically active women and LGBTQ people. We will also support the establishment of a research and innovation network for a union of equality. Finally, our democracies do not only need protections and defense, but they also need promotion and enhancement. And we therefore want to fund research about the role of digital and media literacy, the importance of media viability, and also civic and citizenship education for strengthening civil and democratic participation. But before you hear from my colleagues more, I would also like to say a few words on societal sciences and humanities integration, or as we say, SSH integration. So SSH integration is important both for Cluster 2, but it's very important for Horizon Europe as a whole. The term refers to the process of cooperation between the classic STEM, science, technology, engineering and mathematics, and SSH, societal science and humanities disciplines. SSH disciplines are not an add-on to to Horizon Europe research and innovation. They are really essential for our collaborative research, where consortia may consist of different partners from different countries and from many, many different disciplines. So we in the Commission support the SSH integrations through different means, several means that are important for us. You can read more about the SSH monitoring report that we published in europa.eu last July to know more about how we do work in this area. So, for example, there are SSH flag topics across all the clusters. Wherever we have identified and we see that SSH integration is very important for future projects. In Cluster 2, we obviously expect that the majority of applicants come from the SSH discipline, and therefore, maybe the concept of SSH integration could appear redundant. But let me say one thing, integration goes in both directions. So you have the opportunity in this final Horizon Europe Work Programme to come up with very good, nicely integrated proposals where we can see definitely that STEM and SSH research are well integrated. Whenever we engage with Horizon Europe projects, we see beautiful examples of projects that really are led or enhanced by SSH scientists. So please, a plea for you, don't be shy. I would advise applicants to seek out partners from SSH and STEM very, very early on in the process of proposal writing. I'm pretty sure that this will increase the chances that integration is a success. But another way we are supporting SSH integration forward is through a coordination and support action in Destination 3. The topic is called Fostering Cooperation and Integration between SSH and STEM Research and Innovation in the EU. Through this strategic action, we want to improve this cooperation, SSH and STEM, in the years to come. I'm very certain that our research and innovation communities will respond to the new calls and we will be flooded with excellent proposals. I wish you all very good work and good luck with the preparation of your proposal. Now you will hear more about important challenges in Cluster 2 areas by my other two co-chairs, Jeroen Jutte from DG Employment, Society Affairs and Inclusion, and Stefan Hermans from the DG Education, Youth, Sport and Culture. Now, Jerome, the floor is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Pilar, and thanks also to Mina. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jeroen Jutte. I'm Director for Employment and Social Governance Analysis in the Employment DG of the European Commission. And also from my side, a warm welcome. We are really glad to have so many of you here at today's Cluster 2 Info Day on the Work Programme 2026. Cluster 2 in Horizon Europe invests in gathering more evidence, new ideas, methods and policies to make our societies more resilient and adaptable. In a changing world, we all see it and we know it. Climate change, AI, demographic change and also war near the EU. These are the big challenges we're facing today, and therefore your work is more important than ever. We need the tools to cope with these changes. The topics selected for the 2026 work program on sustainable competitiveness, skills, migration, children's well-being also, and long-term care policy all have something in common. They aim to support inclusive and sustainable growth, and at the same time reduce vulnerabilities and inequalities. So let me briefly run you through the 6 topics that can be grouped into, let's say, 3 different dimensions. And the first one is really about the framework conditions. Europe's social model is something that we are rightly proud of. It's different in every country, and yet we have this in common. We see that general context, the pressure on the fiscal situation, also because of the wars surrounding us, geopolitical tensions more widely, unfair competition, are all posing difficult conditions for making progress. So the first dimension is to strengthen the general framework conditions necessary for a social Europe. That is why we dedicate budget to research devoted to strengthening Europe's social model and sustainable competitiveness through productivity. The second dimension, closely linked, is of course human capital and skills. Our program really needs to bring information to get people with the right skills, to innovate, to navigate these transformations in society, in our economy, in our labor market, and link that to decarbonization, digitalization, AI, and also demographic change. Therefore, a topic focuses on fostering competitiveness for the green transition. This will help us understand the competences that young people and workers need to support the decarbonization of our economy and protecting natural ecosystems. Also, in the area of digital skills, we will have a topic on measuring the impact of the use of digital tools outside school, and for communication on educational outcomes and mental health. It is clearly a priority for citizens, with as many as 93% of Europeans saying action by public authorities to protect, for example, children online is urgent when it comes to the negative impact of social media on well-being, in particular, mental health. Also linked to human capital more broadly, we will have a topic to determine the factors influencing students, researchers, and high-skilled workers from non-EU countries to move to and remain in the EU. This is key, as Europe's ability to compete on a global scale depends not only on retaining homegrown talent, but also on actively drawing and retaining talent from outside the EU. The third dimension, the third element of grouping, is really about social issues. We have two big topics there. One on how to tackle child poverty. 1 in 4 children in Europe live in poverty. How is this linked to facilitating access to early childhood education and care? The results of this topic are important to deliver on the European Child Guarantee. And finally, we also have an important topic on demographic shifts and long-term care policy. A striking figure. The number of people with long-term care needs in the EU is projected to go up with many, many millions over the years to come, will substantially grow. So I hope all this together will give you a good overview already now, at the beginning, of the several dimensions where your work will be essential. We need your research, your insights for a stronger, more independent and more social Europe. But I would like to also be clear. The needs of Horizon Europe are not like normal research. And I say this with a reason. We want to use your research to be really operational, to help us in making policy that can be scaled up, that can be tested and scaled up. It is of key importance for us that your work feeds our policies. Not just theory, but actual pragmatic. Bear in mind that the impact of your research depends heavily on how easy it is to absorb your findings and put them into practice. So with that in mind, build strong consortia and then apply. On our side, we will be promoting your work, your research finding. For example, if you listen to our podcast series entitled Just Europe, Insights for a Fairer Society, you will understand why. So to conclude, thank you very much for your attention. I hope you find this day super useful. Goodbye.
Thank you, Jeroen, and good morning to you all. I'm Stefan Hermans, Director for Policy Strategy and Evaluation at the Director General for Education, Youth, Culture and Sport. And I'm speaking to you today in my capacity as co-chair of Cluster 2. I'm introducing to you the so-called Destination 2, innovative research on the European cultural heritage and the cultural and creative industries. This destination adopts a humanistic perspective. It places cultural heritage and the cultural and creative industries at the very core of the European socio-economic model. Policy-wise, the Culture Compass for Europe provides a sound background for research and innovation. Concretely, by supporting the objectives of social cohesion and resilience through arts, design and cultural practices and creative entrepreneurial ecosystems. Protecting our democracy, upholding our values, providing evidence-based policy options for building a participatory and crisis-resilient society and economy, supporting Europe's sustainable prosperity and competitiveness by boosting the innovation-driving role of our cultural heritage and the cultural and creative industries. Research and innovation actions will focus on areas such as creative startups, the impact of artificial intelligence technologies on creativity, and the cultural and creative industries. But the culture destination also provides for contributions of artistic intelligence and soft skills, and for boosting global partnerships in cultural policies. Research and innovation actions under the area of supporting people, will focus on safeguarding linguistic diversity and on countering illicit trafficking of cultural goods. A few remarks on the process. Applicants should bear in mind that the overarching goal of Cluster 2, which is to mobilize multidisciplinary expertise of social sciences and humanities for understanding fundamental contemporary transformations of society, economy, politics, and culture. Proposals foster cooperation between universities, scientific communities, and industry, including small and medium-sized enterprises, and also with citizens and their representatives. They bridge gaps between territories, between generations, and between regional cultures. Proposals are particularly encouraged to find complementarities with other EU-funded projects. Think here also about the links with the new co-funded European Partnership for Resilient Cultural Heritage. Links with existing digital infrastructures and platforms, such as the European Collaborative Cloud for Cultural Heritage, or the Common European Data Space for Cultural Heritage. Likewise, Cluster 2 promotes the collaboration with the Institute of Innovation and Technology's KIC, called EIT Culture and Creativity. The work program 26-27 of Cluster 2 remains almost completely open to the participation of non-associated third countries. International cooperation is encouraged whenever relevant in the proposed topics. Applicants are also encouraged to consider in their proposals open science practices beyond the mandatory requirements of Horizon Europe. In practical terms, all topics of Destination 2 in the call 2026 are framed in the general call Culture, Creativity and Inclusive Society 2026. You can find 7 topics distributed in 4 research and innovation actions, 2 innovation actions, and 1 coordination and support action. The budget allocated to these topics is 85.5 million euros. This budget should fund about 18 new projects. Clearly, there are many ways research and innovation activities can bring meaningful contributions to the sector, and we look forward to seeing ambitious projects in this call for proposals. The call for proposals opens on 12 May 26 and it closes on the 23rd of September. I wish to conclude by reminding that Cluster 2 proposals should help the cultural heritage, arts and cultural and creative industries to drive sustainable innovation and a European sense of belonging through continuous engagement with society, citizens and economic sectors.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to this information session on Horizon Europe Cluster 2, calls for proposals in the destination democracy and governance. My name is Anne Hagle-Morrissey. I'm Deputy Head of Unit of a unit dealing with democracy, culture and equality in the Directorate General for Research and Innovation. And my team is responsible for coordinating the drafting of the calls for proposals related to the Destination 1 of Cluster 2 on innovative research on democracy and governance. We have just heard some opening remarks from Head of Department Minna Wilki of the Research Executive Agency, and also introductions from the co-chairs of Cluster 2, namely from Director Pilar Aguar Fernandez in the Director General for Research and Innovation, from Stefan Hermans, who is Director in the DG for Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, and also from Jeroen Jute, who is Director of the Director General for Employment, Social Affairs and Inclusion. And it's now my pleasure to moderate this question and answer sessions related to the core topics of Destination 1, innovative research on democracy and governance. The overall aim of the calls that we have published in the work programme for 2026 is to bolster the resilience of democratic systems, to protect democratic governance from threats and enhance citizen participation. And we have already heard about the very important policy context that we have related to the calls in this area. We have, for instance, of course, the rule of law, respect of human rights and democracy as core and foundational values of the European Union. And among the Commission priorities for the period 2024 to 2029, promoting democracy and EU values is a core priority. And we have also briefly listened to Pilar Aguar Fernandez when she referred to the important policy initiative that was adopted in November 2025, namely the European Democracy Shield initiative, which has an aim to strengthen democratic resilience, and in particular in the fields of freedom of expression, strengthening institutions, free elections, free media, and boosting citizen engagement and resilience, as well as addressing the core challenges that we see related to democracy and democratic resilience, namely issues such as disinformation and information manipulation and foreign interference. And when it comes to those democratic challenges, research plays a very important role to provide solutions to strengthening democratic institutions, promote civic engagement, and addressing the complex challenges threatening democracy. We have in the work programme 2026 10 calls for proposals in the field of research and innovation on democracy and governance, and 8 of those core topics are research and innovation actions. 1 is a coordination and support action, and 1 is an innovation action. We will address in those topics issues such as how to understand the forms of local democracy in low to middle income countries, how to govern global commons sustainably, how to increase understanding of government in transition and to understand electoral integrity in the digital context, how to tackle gender-based violence against politically active women and LGBTIQ people, and also how to promote equality. We also have core topics related to the post-conflict democracy and reconstruction, the role of digital and media literacy and digital media viability, and civic and citizenship education for strengthening civic and democratic participation. But before we start this question and answer sessions, I'm very pleased also to introduce my colleagues here in the studio, and we have also colleagues on the screen. So first, my colleagues in the studio, we have Alberto Domini, working with me in the team of Democracy and Governance, and we have Jadi Efrat, also a colleague working with me in the team. And on the screen we have Andrea Erday and Nora Alavoan, who will also be here to answer your questions. Now, just a couple of technical issues to bring up. We will work with Slido, and you have the QR code on the screen. So you connect via the QR code to Slido, and please make sure that you enter the right room when you go into Slido. The questions that you post for this specific session would be in the Destination 1 room. And what is very important is that if you could kindly indicate in your question which topic you're posing the question on, because otherwise it's very difficult for us to know who among the colleagues is ready to provide an answer to the question. We will also have, for your information, a general session, a cross-cutting session in the afternoon at 2:45, so 14:45. There will be a cross-cutting session related to horizontal questions such as on the call process, eligibility questions, lump sums, etc., and also related to gender issues and to international cooperation issues. So all these cross-cutting issues will be answered in that session in the afternoon. And for those general questions, there is also a specific room in Slido, which is called Cross-Cutting Issues, Tips and Novelties, where you pose those general questions. And also on those general issues, please remember that there are national contact points across the member states and the associated countries which you can reach out to. We also have the Research Inquiries Service where you can pose your questions. Should there be any question that we don't have time to answer here today within this hour, then I would like to assure you that those will be published on the frequently asked questions section on this very website. With this, I would like to open the floor for this questions and answers session, and me and my colleagues are happy to try to reply to your questions. So, let me take the first one. We have a question on the call topic number 10. Could you please clarify the encouraged role of the Joint Research Centre in the call? Can the Joint Research Centre be involved in the proposals writing? And for this specific question, I'm pleased to give the floor to Nora on the screen.
Yeah, this is also a general question about the JRC's participation across all projects. So, no, the JRC cannot participate in drafting the call. It only once your grant agreement is signed, when a project is successful and the grant agreement is signed, that you would then contact the JRC and establish contact then and see their role, which, for example, could be being a member of your consortium or another role that you would define together. In this specific call, the JRC has a lot to offer. It's got relevant competence centers. It's also produced 3 iterations of a European digital competence framework, all of which would be useful for you to know as background when drafting your proposal. But your relationship with the JRC can only begin once your project is successful and the grant agreement is signed.
Thank you very much, Nora, for this answer. And we have a question, or actually 2 questions related to call topic number 7 on post-conflict democracy. I will read the questions out. The first question is, in this call, does the European Commission has a preference for analysis in countries in the EU neighbourhood or in sub-Saharan Africa or in the Middle East? And the second link question is, do you have any geographical preferences for the choice of analysis of conflict or post-conflict areas, such as the European neighbourhood? And for those 2 questions, I will give the floor to Alberto.
Yes. So yeah, I would actually probably answer both questions at the same time, because this is about the geographical scope of topic number 7. So as the topic outlined, we didn't actually specify any country or any region. We are definitely interested in a number of countries in which there has been a conflict or there is an ongoing conflict. Just for the potential beneficiaries to focus on a number of criteria. We would like, but just to clarify, the answer to these 2 questions is certainly not. We don't have any specific preference, but just mind to consider a number of criteria. We would like the proposals and the researchers to focus on countries or regions in which the EU has an active external action, in which also the European Union has been rolling out a number of democracy support programs, for which also we had calls in the previous 2 programs of Horizon. And also, of course, countries in which the Union has some engagement in terms of reconstruction and support following the conflict. Maybe just to give a number of examples without actually being too much prescriptive. in terms of countries in which there was a conflict, but in which the transition is somehow unstable. We can think about Kosovo or the Bosnia-Herzegovina, maybe other countries in which there is an ongoing conflict. And so we will be very much interested in knowing how to support the deployment of support actions or other programs to support the transition to a better and fully-fledged democracy. We can certainly think about Ukraine or Syria as well in the Middle East. In the southern neighborhood, and maybe also to have a wider scope, we can also consider areas in which there are recurrent conflicts, such as Saharan Africa, the Sahel region, in which the geopolitical situation is shifting very fast, or the never-ending conflict in Afghanistan. So, short answer, no, we don't have any preference. Also, the colleagues in other services of the Commission do not have any preference. But of course, just to consider this number of criteria, that would be very useful.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Alberto. And let us then move to the next question. We have a question on topic number 1 related to tackling gender-based violence against politically active women and LGBTIQ people. The question is, can projects primarily focus on violence against women or against LGBTIQ people, or should they address both to the same extent? And for this question, I give the floor to Jad.
Many thanks for the question. So the title of the topic is really precising that is women and LGBTIQ people. So we will definitely also ask you based on the expected outcome to fit to this. So we are not using the or, but really the and. So that's really important to consider and address both aspects. Both and like both categories. What also I wanted to say that in the call there is a lot of references to European Commission initiative and European Union initiative. In the meantime, between the publication and today, we have adopted the new LGBTIQ strategy as well as the new gender equality strategy, and maybe that's also a very important initiative for you to read to also inform the way you're going to draft and reflect your proposal. But thank you for the question.
Thank you, Jad. The next question is related to topic number 10 on digital and media literacy. And I will read it out. Is it important to focus on overall democracy building, or can we focus on digital orientation and resilience during crisis, for example? And for this question, I give the floor to Nora.
Great. Okay, so thanks for the question. The overall focus of that call topic is to ensure citizens' informed democratic participation. So it's informed citizens to counter disinformation. Please treat the text of the call topic as a sacred text. You need to hit every single one of the points that we require in the text. So you can't just make an exclusive focus on crisis response when the topic text asks for specific things. We want proposals that will explore patterns of user behaviors online, investigate how algorithms amplify emotive contact, how develop digital and media literacy strategies, that projects that examine the factors that influence digital literacy, projects that explore the critical role that digital and media literacy play in fostering societal resilience. We want proposals that critically assess existing media and digital literacy initiatives and that identify strategies to improve media literacy and digital literacy. So you need to hit all of those points for your proposal to be successful. You can't just have an exclusive focus on one thing.
Thank you, Nora. And I see there is another question related to the same call topic, so I suggest we take that one immediately since you are on the screen. So also on the same call topic, are there preferred target groups of the media and digital literacy initiatives we must address? Are there preferred countries?
No, it is not stated in the text, so there's no preference of target groups or countries.
Thank you very much. And we will go to the next question, which is on call topic related to citizenship education as part of lifelong learning. I see we have two questions on this very topic. The first one is, how do How do you delineate adult education programs, as this could encapsulate rather different structures with educational purposes? And the second question on this topic is citizenship education seen as a specialized field, or in how adult education programs can become more citizenship orientated? Both is the question. So if it's fine with you, Nora, would you be able to answer both the
Sure.
questions? Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. So we do not have a definition for adult education program. Yes, indeed, there could be different types of adult education programs. So then it's up to you to, in your proposal, explain why, if you choose to examine adult education programs, how they are relevant to what is asked for in the topic. But we have no definition. And then for the other question, is citizenship education seen as a specialized field? Great. So it could be either, it could be both. What we ask for in the call topic is to examine how adult education or vocational education and training can increase citizenship as a basic skill. We give a definition in the call topics of citizenship as a basic skill. So what we're looking for is how one or other of these areas, vocational educational and training or adult education, can enhance citizenship as a basic skill. So it could be, specifically citizenship education type curricula, or it could be as a side effect of these types of education programs.
Thank you very much for this reply. We will move to the next question. I see a question related to the call topic 6, governing global commons sustainably. And the question is, the call focuses on global commons, but what is the definition of global commons? So when it comes to this core topic, I will provide an answer. So this core topic is really on spaces that are common to all humanities, that not a single country can control or manage on its own. So we're talking about global commons related to the polar regions, Antarctica, related to oceans, deep sea, related to space. So really those spaces that we are having in common for all humanity, and that not one single country can govern or manage on its own. So the definition is this broad focus, and then we have specific areas which are in the focus of the call topic. The next question is on the call topic number 8, which is related to electoral integrity in a digital context. So about electoral integrity, we assume a lot of technical IT-based work. Who should be the driver of the proposal, social or computer science? So this is a question for you, Alberto.
Yes. So on topic number 8, I must say that we are very much aware that the topic is very broad. We outline a number of sub-areas, let's say, on which the proposal can be focusing on. There is, of course, a stream of proposals that will be about the security of voting systems, other about the impact instead of digitalization. Another focus of the topic is also on the potential of digital technology. So we're very much aware that it's going to be up to the proposals to come up with their own consistent and successful methodology to meet the objectives, the outcomes, expected outcomes of the topic. So just to short answer to this question, no, there is no specific choice that one proposal needs to do between social sciences and computer sciences. It will be really up to the research team and the expertise that the consortia will be able to put together. So there is no specific indication when it comes to which of the two to be preferred.
Thank you very much, Alberto. And we will move to the next question. I see a question on, again, topic number 6, global commons. The question is, in Area C, should all types of spaces be analysed with the same weight, or can one focus on one and address the others in a smaller way? So this is a question related to one of the three core areas of the core topic, and this is the area is the one dealing with governance of spaces beyond national jurisdiction. And here, compared to the other two focus areas, this is really a cross-cutting approach in this area, where we expect the projects to really address several different spaces beyond national jurisdiction and how those have been governed so far. So it could bring in how spaces, common spaces such as oceans, polar regions, outer space have been governed. So it's by we have this as a cross-cutting approach because the other two are focusing on one specific common space. The first topic is on climate, the second on biodiversity, and this one is of a cross-cutting approach. But of course, we don't expect the exact same weight to each different area brought up, but we would like to have this cross-cutting approach to really bring insights into and to compare among different areas. We have a question on the core topic number 10 on digital and media literacy. How does it cover prototyping tools, EI, to analyze emotional dynamics of online polarizations that feed into strategies to counter manipulative narratives? And for this question, I give Nora the floor.
Yeah. So indeed, the call topic asks you to investigate how algorithms amplify emotive content. How you go about that is really up to you and in your proposal. And if you think that developing prototypes is the best way for you to meet that aim, then that is something you can do, and that is something you should describe in your proposal.
Thank you, Nora. And since I have you on the screen, we have a second question on topic number 10, so the same topic. It's not very clear, but I will try to address it. So the text of the call topic states that research should take a multi-actor approach. And then there are abbreviations which I'm not fully aware of.
I think I understand the question.
You understand the question, so if you could add a little bit on the method, possible method approach.
I understand the question, but I might not be able to answer it fully. I think this is a general question, and I would ask the anonymous questioner to put it maybe in the session on general issues that will take place this afternoon. So as I understand it, you're asking whether the definition of multi-actor approach, which is clearly defined for cluster 6, also applies for cluster 2. And I'm not sure that it does, or whether that definition is specific to cluster 6 since it's included in cluster 6. In the text of the call, where we mention that the projects should take a multi-actor approach, we give a list of the types of actors that we would like to be considered. So it's possible that that's the looser definition that we want here, but really I would encourage you to ask this in the general session, whether a definition given in cluster 6 would also apply to cluster 2.
Thank you very much, Nora. And I see another question on this topic. What non-academic expertise is valued in consortia applications, specifically design frameworks for children's digital well-being interventions? So again, for you, Nora.
Yeah, really, the value of your proposal, I'm not going to tell you we want this exact makeup in the consortium. We need a proposal that is strong because it hits all the points that we ask for in the topic text, and then that it have the consortium that is the best suited to conduct that work. So that is really up to you, how you and your consortia choose to build a proposal based on what is requested in the topic text, and then find the consortium that will best conduct that work.
Thank you. And this topic is very popular, I see. So we have another question on this core topic. In which role can ministries and other public entities be involved? Associated partners?
That's very, very specific. It's always very good to have people who could be the ultimate end users, for example, of the, strategies that are identified and developed under this topic. That the end users be involved because they can be that they're best able to show you their needs, limitations, and requirements. Now, how they could be involved? Well, many different ways. One way that has happened in the past is, for example, for such types of public bodies to be on the advisory boards of projects. They could be partners in pilots and tests. There's many different options. Again, build your proposal and you will know what it is that you want to do, what you want to test, and you will then know what kinds of actors are necessary to conduct that work.
Thank you, Nora. And I see we have a question on the second topic, which is understanding the forms of local democracy in low to middle income countries. And I will read this question out. Can you elaborate on evidence-based good practices for working in fragile contexts? And what is fragile, including testing, organizational change? And for this topic, I will give Alberto the floor.
No, thank you very much for this question. It's very interesting. We already had this question before, actually. I mean, not in the same form. In terms of what are fragile contexts, I mean, we also included a specification in the work program by, I mean, what we mean with fragile context. Fragile context for us, I mean, also for our colleagues at the other Directorate Generals at the European External Action Service, are countries and contexts in which, I mean, the government, the central government, has lost control over parts of the territory. And it's also very interesting for us to investigate, or to have the Horizon projects investigating these specific areas and contexts, these fragile contexts, because the European Union sometimes, at times, has a better or has relations with the local governments instead of having relations with the centralized government, which has lost control over these areas. So this is what we mean by fragile context. So you can actually think about a number of situations. I don't want to be prescriptive again. I mean, the Sahel or other regions in sub-Saharan Africa, but I mean, can be much beyond that. Yeah, certainly we are referring to these. And when it comes to organizational change, I'm not really sure what the colleague, the researcher, is meaning with that. Yeah, we can probably provide additional information in the frequently asked questions. And of course, if the colleague, the researcher, can specify what he or she means by organizational change, that would be very helpful.
Thank you. I will stay with you, Alberto, because I see there is another question on this very cool topic. The question is, are there any preferences regarding research methodology, qualitative, quantitative, or mixed?
Topic number 2 is research and innovation action. So of course, a lot of focus should be put also on deploying a number of research methodologies. But the short answer to this question is no. We don't have any preference. It's going to be again up to the proposals, to the research teams to come up with the best solution in order to meet the expectations and to fulfill and obtain the expected outcomes that are outlined in the topic. So no specific preference for any specific type of methodology.
And we will stay with you, Alberto, because there is yet another question on this topic. So the question is, the topic focuses on low and middle income countries. Should particular relevance be placed on low income versus upper middle income countries?
Again, the short answer is no. We try to be rather broader, as I also tried to explain before. The regulation of Horizon has a specific definition of what we mean by low and middle income countries. There is also, I think, a long list of countries which are enumerated and listed. So no, we don't have any specific preference. I mean, the proposal should not be giving relevance more to one type of low-income country than the other. So really, it really depends on the research teams, on the organizations around the table as part of the consortium, and the best solutions that the researchers would be able to provide.
Thank you very much. And let us see if there are additional questions coming up. Yes, we have a question on topic number 9 on citizenship education. So the question is citizenship education as part of lifelong learning. Can the elaboration of didactic materials about transformative education for global citizenship be a product deliverable? So a very specific question for you, Nora.
Yeah. So first off, I don't know if this is the case, but we only fund new research. So if this question refers to something you've already elaborated, then it wouldn't be eligible. Now, next, in this call, we don't talk about global citizenship. We're asking for research into whether vocational education and training or adult education can raise civic knowledge and political awareness and attachment to democratic values, and also whether it can increase civic participation actions. So if you can argue in your proposal that the types of materials you're talking about on transformative education for global citizenship achieve those goals, which is what is asked for in the call, then you can make that case in your proposal.
Thank you very much, Nora. Let us see if we have additional questions. Yes, I see a question on topic number 3, government in transition. So this question is, how should proposals demonstrate impact on governance innovation, such as improved transparency, accountability, or institutional effectiveness? And for this question, I will give the floor to Andrea.
Thank you. Indeed, how do you define the impact in the transparency, accountability, institutional effectiveness? Indeed, all are important. We have been requesting to to have a citizen's view that is much more related to the already existing publications like the OECD Trust Survey, the Eurobarometer. We are not expecting in this call to run your own citizen surveys. Possibly there might be also national assessments done in several countries. The other side of the issue is, of course, reaching into the civil service insider information through the surveys and in-depth interviews. All we are after is to see what changed in the past couple of years and to what effect in the way the civil service is working and how the civil servants judge the value of innovation efforts that they launched previously, the experiments, the pilots, the new ways of working and working with stakeholders. And all these are important. You need to corroborate the two, but not need to start launching a very large-scale surveying of citizens. Indeed, the focus is on the civil service and how they value the innovation efforts in government.
Thank you very much, Andrea, for this reply. We have a question on topic number 3. Again, government in transition. So, Andrea, you're with me still on the screen. So in this call, does the European Commission has a preference for involving associated countries in the European Union's neighborhood?
Yes, the focus of this call is more the EU member states and the direct neighborhood countries. It depends on what countries' civil services you can have a deep reach into and how you will access the stakeholders for the call. And please, when you write the proposal and you're proposing any associated country here, please justify why the country brings added value to this assessment. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. We have a question on core topic 10, digital media literacy. I was just thinking maybe we reply to that, but okay. In which role can ministers and other public entities be involved as associated partners? So I think we have replied to this question already. Let us see if there are other questions. Yes, so we have a question on topic number 7 on post-conflict democracy. The question is, what are the countries to be covered? Is it aimed at Ukraine specifically, or all wars, conflicts are still ongoing? I will group this question with another one on the same topic, which is more or less identical. So this question is, does the focus on Ukraine fit your definition of analysis of conflict or post-conflict areas? So two different but related questions on this core topic, Alberto.
No, very interesting question, and the answer is yes. I mean, we of course think that Ukraine falls perfectly into the scope of the topic. Of course, the topic is indeed, named entitled Post-Conflict and Reconstruction. So here we're not only focusing, we don't actually want you also to focus only on the countries in which there is an ongoing conflict. There was a past conflict, but also in countries in which there is currently a conflict. And we would appreciate you to have a forward-looking approach, let's say, to your research. We do expect that the war in Ukraine will be eventually over. And of course, I mean, we are very much interested in understanding how the European Union can deploy a number of programs and initiatives to support the post-conflict transition to a better democracy. So yes, Ukraine clearly falls into the scope.
Thank you very much, Alberto. And I see a question related to core topic number 6, governing global commons sustainably. And for this, I can reply. So the question is climate or a good atmosphere considered a global common? So can the focus in area A be on climate mitigation policies, for example? So yes, indeed, area number 1, there are 3 different areas in focus, and each proposal is expected to address just one of them. So either climate governance, biodiversity, or this cross-cutting issue area. And indeed, for area A, on climate governance, indeed, the focus can be definitely on climate mitigation policies. So the answer is simply yes. We have a question or 2 questions, I see, on topic number 10, digital media literacy. So let us bring those 2 together. The first one is, can organizations representing examples of media and digital literacy practices be part of the consortium to deepen understanding of what works in democratic participation? And the second question is, should the project provide an assessment of initiatives in all EU countries, or could it focus on just some of the EU countries? So for those 2 questions, I will give the floor to you, Nora.
Great. Can certain types of organizations be part of your consortium if they make your proposal stronger? Yes, absolutely. Anything that the consortium needs to be coherent with what you propose to do in your proposal, which itself needs to respond to all the points that need to be met in the call topic. So yeah, such organizations could be part of the consortium. And should the project provide an assessment of initiatives in all EU countries? There is no geographic scope indicated in the call text. So choose the scope that makes sense to you and defend it in your proposal.
Thank you very much, Nora. Let us see if there are new questions coming up. Yes, I see a question on topic number 2, understanding the forms of local democracy in low to middle income countries. So can you please clarify the eligibility of intergovernmental organizations to receive funding as part of a consortium under this call? So I see immediately that this is related also to the cross-cutting session that we will have in the afternoon, but still I will give the floor to Alberto if you can provide any answer.
Well, actually, I would recommend indeed the potential beneficiaries to address this question to the colleagues in the afternoon, just to receive the better guidance.
Yes. So please, I would recommend you then to repost this question under the cross-cutting issues room in Slido, and then you will get an answer from the colleagues dealing with international cooperation and intergovernmental organizations. The next question is on topic number 1, tackling gender-based violence. The question is, can proposals focus on selected population groups that are understudied, neglected, such as specific age, socioeconomic groups, etc.? So for this question, I give Jad the floor.
So thank you for this question. So the topic is not prescriptive in this regard, meaning that potential beneficiary can propose and justify with their methodology why their proposal will make the most sense for this. So this is an aspect that I would like to clarify, but still in the call topic you can see that there is a strong dimension on intersectionality, and also in one of the expected outcome, actually the last one, we aim at promotion of an inclusive environment that encourage political participation of women and LGBTIQ people, notably from underrepresented groups, through collaboration across key public, politic or civil society actors. So I think with this expected outcome already you might feel if the proposal you have in mind can fit, and again, like, we are referring to underrepresented groups. So if you justify with your methodology that this fits, it will be definitely matching the objective of this call.
Thank you very much. And the next question is on topic 2, understanding the forms of local democracy in low middle-income countries. And this question is on the geographical focus. So should Africa, Latin America and the Caribbean and Central Asia, whose strategies are mentioned in the call topic, be the geographical focus of the projects? Alberto, over to you.
So again, about the geographical scope of the topic number 2, the quick answer to this question is no, not necessarily, at least. The geographical scope of the topic, as the title mentions, are low and middle income countries, which can stretch from Africa to Latin America and the Central Asian region. So of course we mentioned these regions because a number of strategies have been launched and established between the European Union and these regions in the field of research and innovation, but we don't want to prescribe any potential proposal to specifically focus on these regions. We really want the researchers to come up with their own research plan and their own geographical scope.
Thank you very much. And we'll stay with you, Alberto, because I see a question on another topic which you are in the lead of. So on topic number 7, supporting post-conflict democracy. And the question is, what countries, regions fit your definition of focusing on prevention of fractured transitions in post-conflict situations?
Yes. Here again, I don't want to be too prescriptive. I understand that, of course, this a sentence raises some questions. Here with this, we would like to refer to countries in which there was a conflict over the past decades, in which we have noticed, and also the geopolitical situation and the internal politics to these countries show that still society is not reaching a sufficient level of cohesion, and there are still ongoing sectorial tensions, and the region and the country is not fulfilling the standards of democracy according to the criteria that we have in Europe, such as the respect of the rule of law, of minority rights, sufficient level of participation of certain minorities and underrepresented groups. So I don't want, maybe I can mention, as I did before, but probably I should not mention Bosnia and Herzegovina, Kosovo, but in the topic we didn't foresee any list because, again, we would like the proposals to come up with their own suggestions on which countries and which contexts to focus their research.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. And there is a very related question, which is already more or less answered, but I can just repeat it here. So it's also on this call topic. There is no mentioning of the geographical scope of the projects. Is there a specific region that we are encouraged to look at? And I think Alberto has already provided.
The right answer is no.
So let us then move to the next topic, which is on topic 2, understanding the forms of local democracy in low to middle income countries again. So should the focus be only on countries with local elections? Are countries without decentralized governance relevant too? Alberto.
Yes, so the answer to this question is yes. Also countries in which there is no clear decentralization effort from the side of the central government are very relevant for this research, for this type of envisaged research. We noticed, and also our colleagues that supported us in the drafting of this topic, they noticed that sometimes, citizens are particularly keen on embracing democratic practices when they see local government and local election carried out, and they can actually see a better relation with the local elected officials. But this is not sorry. This is not a criteria to rule out other countries in which such local elections or local forms of democracy do not exist.
Thank you very much. And I see a question on topic number 6, governing global commons sustainably. The question is, collaboration between areas is encouraged, but how to include this aspect in the proposal without knowing who the others are? I understand this question is really about that we encourage clustering and cooperation with other ongoing projects, also within this specific core topic. And of course, this will come naturally. This is a general description. We have this as an encouragement in most of the core topics, that we really would like to ensure clustering among similar projects for a greater impact of the call as such. So, of course, it's not possible to provide any certain details on the other projects of this specific core topic, but to have this as a general description and how you intend to do that, this is what we expect from this reference. Now, we will move to topic number 1 on tackling gender-based violence against politically active women and LGBTIQ people. And this question is, can projects focus on violence against selected types of political actors, such as only journalists and or activists? And this question is for you, Jad.
So thank you for the question. So on this, I will definitely invite you to double check the footnote 16 and 17, because actually in this footnote, we precise that what we mean by public life can entail but is not limited. So what you have put it in parentheses is what we have suggested, but again, it's not limited. So it's not prescriptive in this regard. And again, the methodology with which you will brought up your proposal will be the one that will determine the assessment of your proposal. So on that, we are not prescriptive. So it entails, but it's not limited. And also with the footnote 17, we also precise what do we mean by politically active. So we hope that this can support your understanding of the references. But if you have like a more precise question, please do not hesitate to enter it in the chat. But a priori, it's not limited and not prescriptive.
Thank you, Jad. I will stay with you. I see another question on this core topic can proposals include the study of biomarkers to understand biological embedding of minority stress and gender-based violence?
I think that was for number 2.
Yes.
Is that for number 2? Yes, sorry. Indeed. So it's for you. So it's related to the topic understanding the forms of local democracy in low to middle income countries again. So Alberto.
Yes, so this is a very specific question, very interesting. We would like also the proposals to align a methodology that also entails consulting stakeholders on the ground, of course, in this fragile context. And we would like also them to focus on specific underrepresented groups or fragile group of citizens, like, of course, women, LGBTQI, or other minorities of other sort, of course, depending on the context that is investigated. Now, the inclusion of biomarkers can be a way. I mean, I don't want to have a too strong answer to this. Can be one of the criteria that the proposal outlines in order to be successful and be different from other proposals that might be in the same field. So the answer is possibly, if of course it makes sense with the methodology and the whole methodology is still coherent. Yes, why not?
Thank you very much. And the next question is on topic number 10, related to digital and media literacy. The question is the use of computational methods optional or mandatory? And I will give Nora the floor for this one.
So it is optional, where we say that basically, wherever in the topic text it says that research could do something, that indicates that it's optional. Wherever we say research should do something, that's one of the obligatory points that you need to hit. So we suggest that, for a certain one of the aims that you need to meet, you could use computational tools, but it is optional.
Thank you, Nora. And I see a question again on the core topic 7 on supporting post-conflict democracy. The question is, should the project involve interventions, actions itself, or is action research on these dynamics enough? Again, Alberto.
Yes. Should the project involve intervention actions? Well, if I understand correctly the question, this is a research and innovation action. So I would say that the answer to this question is that the proposal should be focusing on carrying out research on the ground, and not necessarily foresee any intervention in this fragile context. This is not, of course, what is demanded to the researchers under RIAs in Horizon. If I understand well, of course, if the researchers can specify maybe through the slide a bit better the question, we can give a more complete answer in the frequently asked questions.
Yes, very good, thank you. We have a question on core topic number 9 on citizenship education as a part of lifelong learning. And this question reads, how can the project collaborate with the European Partnership on Social Transformations and Resilience? Can you give an example, please? Nora, I give you this question.
No, I can't tell you what to write in your proposal. Be creative. This is a new partnership, so do your homework, look it up. Really fully understand what its aims are, and then consider how your research could collaborate with this new partnership and defend that in your proposal.
Thank you very much, Nora. And I think that we will probably move to the conclusion of this question and answer session. So I would first like to thank you very much for all the questions that you have posed through Slido. Thank you very much. And I would like to thank the colleague who have provided very clear answers to the questions. And as you have heard before, please be ensured that if you have additional questions, you can post those on the frequently asked questions section of the web page. So, and then we will, of course, provide additional replies to any additional question. And I can also refer again to this cross-cutting session that will be in the afternoon at 14:45, where you can address general questions on lump sums, on the selection process, on international cooperation, international organizations that we had a question on, and on gender issues, etc. So please stay tuned and continue follow this information day because that cross-cutting session is, of course, very interesting. Before we conclude, I would like to to please invite you to fill out a feedback questionnaire, which is available through a QR code that you should be able to see on the screen or on the website, on this event website as well. And yeah, I can also assure you that it shouldn't take more than 2 minutes to fill in, because this will, of course, allow us to improve and consider aspects to include in the next information session. So with this, I would like to thank you very much for your very active participation, for all your different questions on these 10 core topics. And thank you very much. And the next session will start in just a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this session for questions and answers of the Info Day 2026 of Horizon Europe Cluster 2, focused on Destination 2, innovative research on cultural heritage and the cultural and creative industries. My name is Manuel Gomez. I am Policy Officer in DG EAC, the Director General for Education, Youth, Sport and Culture of the European Commission. During the next hour, I will be glad to accompany you in this interactive session for questions and answers. But luckily, I am not alone. I am also very well accompanied by my colleagues from DG RTD, the Director General for Research and Innovation of the Commission, who will be replying to your questions. So let me introduce Juliana De Francesco, Ricard Buchs, Maria Claudia Bodino, and also connected online, Ana Maria Stan. At this point, normally you should have already watched the video prepared by my colleague Ricard and recorded and available on the website. But if you didn't have the time, don't worry, you will have the opportunity to watch it later on. Before I provide a quick introduction to the work program and the topics, maybe it's good that I provide you with a couple of practical orientations. First of all, to explain how we are working today and how to raise your questions. We are using the website slido.com. You can scan with your phone the QR code that likely you are seeing on the screen, voila. Or it's also available in the website likely, or you can also use the hashtag CL2InfoDay altogether. Now, a very important message, request, please, when you submit your questions, it's very important that you also provide the topic number, the reference that you can see in the work program, because that number helps me to quickly identify the topic and ask the question to my colleague so he or she can reply to your question. Furthermore, another practical recommendation, if you have more general questions about eligibility conditions or lump sum, I would recommend you that you keep those questions for the afternoon session on cross-cutting issues. It's at 2:45 Brussels time. And there, I am sure that your general question, will get a better, more accurate answer than if you ask it here. So let me briefly speak about the work program of Destination 2 in Cluster 2. We are speaking about culture, and as you know, culture is the foundation of our identity and values. It connects us as human beings, but it can also contribute to, for example, well-being and health. But on the other hand, culture and cultural heritage are also drivers for sustainability, prosperity, competitiveness, jobs, and growth. And the work program of Destination 2 in 2026 addresses all those aspects by mobilizing a broad range of stakeholders with multidisciplinary expertise in the social sciences and humanities communities. Activities in Destination 2 are aligned and are contributing to the main objectives and foundations of the Culture Compass for Europe. The Culture Compass for Europe is a very important communication adopted by the Commission November last year that provides a strategic framework for culture and cultural policy making and general policy making for the European Union for the years to come. So how is the destination, how are our topics of Destination 2 structure? We have 7 topics of different nature: research and innovation actions, and also coordination and support actions that are aligned across 2 main priority areas or lines and focus, let's say, on prosperity and people. Our total budget is 85.5 million euro. I am concluding this introduction by recalling and literally by reading the expected impact that you can find in the work program of Destination 2. Proposals should set out a credible pathway to ensure that the full potential of cultural heritage, arts, and cultural and creative industries and sectors as drivers of both sustainable innovation and a European sense of belonging is realized through a continuous engagement with society, citizens, and economic sectors. So in a nutshell, this is more or less the main motivation for your proposals in the different topics. And now is due time to pass to the questions, your questions, and hopefully our answers. So let's start with the first question. I am happy to see that questions are coming with the topic number, which makes our labor easier. And 2026-01 heritage, is artistic research being regarded as a way of building artistic intelligence, taking into consideration work in active networks? Topic number 1 is for Juliana. Please, Juliana, thank you.
Yes, good morning. Thank you very much for this question, which allows us to provide a relevant bit of information here. Yes, shortly, the answer is yes. Artistic research is definitely a way of building artistic intelligence. In this topic text, you can find a footnote with a working definition of artistic intelligence that proposals might challenge, but definitely artistic research is part of the framework. Thank you.
Thank you, Juliana. Let's pass to the second question. It's about topic 03, so probably we are continue with Juliana. Heritage 03. Artificial intelligence, what is the expected role of an SME or early stage technology company as a full consortium partner or primarily as a subcontractor?
Yes, thank you. In principle, of course, all rules that apply to Horizon Europe apply to this call topic as well, concerning eligibility of SMEs of early stage technology companies. And it will be up to the consortia, to the proposals, to define which specific role should a specific SME or technology company play. Our requirements is that both culture and creative industry representatives and technology companies are actively involved in the project.
Thank you, Juliana. We continue with you with another question on topic 03. Is it expected that the set of tools artificially intelligence-enabled products and services are developed by the consortium or by the third parties through financial support to third parties? When I know the meaning of the acronym, I will read it. Thank you.
Yes, so thank you again. And again, the reply, this is up to proposals and to consortia to decide. We provide for financial support to third parties, also known as cascade funding, to allow for maximum flexibility there.
Okay, Juliana, maybe we continue with you. Should the financial support to third parties funding be aimed at cultural and creative sectors and industry actors, testing and using the tools and solutions, or at artificial intelligence technical partners developing this?
This is very similar to the previous question, I would say, and the reply is again similar. This will depend on how the proposal is structured and how the consortia intend to address the expected outcomes of the topic. So we have 4 expected outcomes that proposal are expected to contribute to. They are not optional. They are all of them are mandatory. They should be addressed, and the way they are addressed will be decided by consortia. The most important aspect is that they propose a sound methodology and a strong approach.
Thank you, Juliana. Thank you for your solid answers. I see that the topic 03 is receiving much attention. Normally, artificial intelligence is more and more present in research and innovation. So let's change now to topic number 2 with Ricard. What do strong consortium looks like? It's quite generic, so maybe you can inspire people a bit.
Thanks a lot for this question. And I think that this question is not only pertinent for this particular topic, but also maybe in general for all of the topics or most of the topics. And as such questions go, there's no straightforward answer to this, because what a strong consortium look like will depend on how the proposal is designed. So the consortium must correspond to the proposal in a way that everything that the proposal suggests to do is well taken care of with competences and capacities within the consortium. And of course, a consortium has to comply with the minimum requirements, but I think in order to have a good enough score, to have good chances to be funded, it has to go far beyond the minimum requirements. So a strong consortium is one that well makes it very credible that you can achieve what you propose in your proposal.
Thank you, Ricard. Yeah, the credibility of proposals is always something that the independent evaluators will judge. So let's go now to topic number 6. Could you please clarify which languages the topic is referring to exactly? Are non-EU languages included within the scope of this call? And now we pass online to Ana Maria to reply this question.
Yes, thank you very much for the question. So to clarify, this topic is about safeguarding linguistic diversity in Europe. So it has a reference to a territory, which is geographical Europe, not the European Union. But it doesn't have any limitations for languages as long as they are used on this territory. So they could be European as non-European languages if they are used in Europe. So there is total, as I said, total freedom for the choice of languages as long as they are spoken on the European territory.
Thank you, Ana Maria. Let's come back to Juliana in topic number 3. Artificial intelligence, what is the expected role of an SME, a small and medium enterprise, or early stage technology company as a full consortium partner or primarily as a subcontractor?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm afraid that we already replied to these questions. Am I wrong? And the reply is once again that it is up to the consortia to decide the role to be assigned to each partner, to each member, and otherwise all the eligibility rules of Horizon Europe apply for the capability of involving an SME or not.
Okay, let's now finally also invite Maria Claudia to reply to a question on topic number 7. What are the eligibility conditions for this topic? Let's remember that it's important to read the work program. Yeah.
Yes. So thanks a lot for this question. The topic is about preventing and fighting illicit trafficking of cultural goods. And there are two peculiarities in this call, as you can see from the text. First, we want to have at least a free security practitioner organization, and this should be from 3 member states at least, or from 3 associated countries. The other peculiarity is about a research institution. We need to have at least 2 research institutions that have proven expertise in the field of provenance research and illicit trafficking. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria Claudia. In topic number 1, what levels of R-low technology readiness level pilots if this option is chosen as outcome? Juliana, please.
Well, for technology readiness levels, you should, as Manuel already mentioned, read the Horizon Europe regulation, including all annexes. Low, I would say, is up to level 3. And the reason is that we don't want to develop mature tools here. We just want to demonstrate the effectiveness of the engagement of artists with technology development. So these pilots should be rather experimentations that might later deal for achieving a higher technology readiness level, or also possibly to discard the tool if it's demonstrated that it's not effective enough. So the idea is experimenting with the active involvement of artists, and for this reason we don't require the tool to be ready for the market or the implementation.
Thank you, Juliana. We continue with topic number 1, Heritage 01. Is 60,000 for artist involvement? Sorry, and then the question moves, sorry. You know, the setup in the screen is a bit different here in the TV studio. I am reading the third one. 01, 60,000 for artist involvement for the total grant, or can this be per partner? Juliana, please.
Yes, again, it's about the general regulation of Horizon Europe. It's the total amount. It's the total grant. It could be divided across several actors, but this is the entire budget available for FSTP.
Okay, thank you, Juliana. Probably we continue with you, but with another topic, topic number 5, creative alliances. Which countries are specifically included under Far East and Southeast Asia?
Yes, thank you very much for this question. This allows us to provide an important clarification. You may make reference here to the UN standards M49. So Southeast Asia should read Southeastern Asia there, and Far East is equal to Eastern Asia. So perhaps, yes, That's the answer. Anyway, a good reference there is the UN standard M49.
Okay, now in heritage number 3, again on artificial intelligence, is it expected that this, this one, I think we already replied to this one. Let's go to topic number 03. Yeah. Are social sciences and humanity aspects of socioeconomic considerations also envisaged?
Well, as you know, SSH aspects are transversal to Horizon Europe, so yes, of course, they should be envisaged. And CCIs are broadly considered part of the social sciences and humanities. That said, what should guide you in preparing a proposal is the contribution to the expected outcome in the most effective way.
Thank you, Juliana. I continue with topic number 1. Should 3 small-scale pilots be realized in different countries, or is it okay to realize it in one country with all consortium partners? Juliana, topic number 1, please, on artistic intelligence.
Yes, once again, here, as for any other topic, what should guide you is the topic text. We don't specify in how many countries these pilots should be developed, so it's up to the consortium to select how to address the pilot's development in case they choose this option.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to topic number 4 that I don't remember if we touched it already. Topic number 4 which will be with Juliana. Does the call primarily focus on overarching social sciences and humanity perspectives, or are specific use cases, development and testing of AI solutions also envisaged?
Well, again, an accurate reading of the topic is a prerequisite for preparing proposals. We want to address not only a broad understanding, but also solutions for a fair and transparent market for culture and creative industries and culture and creative content in the era of AI, and in particular generative AI with this topic. So definitely it would not be sufficient to have an overarching SSH perspectives. We would like proposals to go more in depth and address also specific use cases.
Thank you, Juliana. We continue with topic number 2, now with Ricard. Can you define disruptive more in depth? Ricard, you are getting, let's say, a bit more generic questions, so if you can illustrate.
Thank you very much for this question. This particular topic, the topic number 2, has a number of important definitions in it, and one of them is disruptive. So in order to understand what this means in the frame of this topic, this is for if you are interested in applying to this topic, you have to refer to the definition in the footnotes in the CAL topic. This is what really defines what you should consider disruptive in this case, and also regarding other important definitions in this topic. So this would be again a recommendation to before you work too much on your proposal, look really in depth in the CAL topic and read all the details, because it can be very important. These definitions will be used by the evaluators that evaluate the proposals. So if you understand them and take them into account correctly, will be important for this evaluation.
Thank you, Ricard. Let's continue with topic number 6 for Ana Maria, CAL 06, Heritage 6, on linguistic diversity. How much scope there is to take a critical viewpoint of the call text, e.g. migration is seen negatively? Ana Maria,
thank you.
Could
yes,
reply,
I'm here.
please.
Thank you for the question. Well, this should not interfere with the topic. Here we are talking about languages, the presence of languages in Europe. without hierarchy normally, so showing for the area that the researcher will choose, the languages that are spoken, that are used, the status that they have, also offering visuals. And I think migration is also one of the factors for the analysis, because migration changes also the demographics and brings new languages in Europe. But this is about research, so the researchers should not worry about that, but do their work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ana Maria. Let's continue with topic number 1. What kinds of evidence are expected to demonstrate improved soft skills or educational outcomes?
Yes, thank you for the question. I think this might refer to focus one of the two focuses that could be chosen when addressing this topic. Focus 1 foresees that approaches, methodologies, and model interventions for integrating arts and creative practices to enhance soft skills across public and private sectors are developed, tested, and disseminated. So an excellent proposal will be able to suggest their own KPIs, their own ways to demonstrate how effective the approach they chosen is, because this is part of what we require proposals to address.
Thank you, Juliana. On topic number 1, we continue. In scope 2, is the list of indicated technologies an editorial choice, or can we run this project on completely different technology?
Thank you very much. This is an important clarification to begin. And again, just use the hints that you find in the text to be able to understand yourself how to reply to this question. If you look at the text of Focus 2, it mentioned that candidate technologies could include, among others. So it's just an example. It's just a list of possible technologies to be addressed, and definitely the proposals might decide to address completely different technologies.
Thank you, Juliana. Let's go to topic number 4. When cultural institutions like museums participate, do they usually come in as full beneficiaries or as associated partners providing access?
And yes, and again, the answer is very easy and straightforward. It's up to consortia to structure a proposal and decide which role each partner plays. And for eligibility, once again, the general Horizon Europe rules apply. And as you know, following these 3 thematic sessions, there will be one session devoted to cross-sectoral aspects where you can ask all questions related to eligibility and other similar cross-cutting issues. As far as we are concerned, the reply can only be, this will be for consortia to decide.
Thank you. Thank you, Juliana. You are having a lot of work today, and we can continue with topic number 1 again. Can we choose Focus 1 and still provide sub-grants to 2 or 3 artists to use tested methodologies and deliver training? So it's for Juliana.
It is, again, up to the proposals to decide if they want to use cascade grants, funding to third parties, and how. Of course, consistency is needed for an excellent proposal. Definitely, artists can be involved. I would say they should be involved in developing the methodologies and deliver training, for sure. But of course, if you choose Focus 1, you're not supposed to develop technological pilots.
Thank you, Juliana. Next one, I admit, with so many questions, I don't know if we cover something similar. Should proposals focus on integrated AI workflows or standalone tools in cultural creative sectors and industries? For Juliana, topic number 3.
Yes, well, the aim of the topic is to address all the needs, all the gaps in workflows in cultural and creative industries and sectors in order to allow them to take full advantage of the opportunities provided by the AI and keep their relevance and improve and boost their innovation potential. So the focus is general on the workflows, but of course the solutions that are developed could address individual gaps, individual needs. So provided there is an overview that motivates the development of a specific solution, of course one individual specific solution can be developed by the projects.
Thank you, Juliana. And likely we continue with you. Maybe it's easy. Artistic intelligence call, so topic number 1. Do we need to include a company in emerging technologies in the consortium?
First of all, let me thank you for your attention to this artistic intelligence topic. You only need to address the expected outcomes and take into account the scope of the call topic. Then, if you find useful and appropriate and effective to involve a company in emerging technologies, you can include them in the consortium. Otherwise, you will organize your proposals differently.
Thank you, Juliana. We continue with topic number 1. How does the Commission see the role of education and tourism actors within creative industries-driven Horizon projects? So topic number 1, we continue. You are having a lot of work with Juliana.
Well, of course, what I wonder is if this question actually relates to the artistic intelligence topic. And of course, the Commission in general, broadly speaking, the role of education and tourism actors is very important. I mean, creative industries, creative sectors in general play very strong cross-domain roles, and synergies and cooperation with education and tourism are extremely relevant. Honestly, I might have misunderstood the question, but I don't see how this relates to the artistic intelligence topic.
Thank you, Juliana. Let's go to topic number 6. So Ana Maria, connected online, can reply to what kind of geographical coverage is expected in topic number 6 on linguistic diversity.
So the topic, thank you for the question first. The topic is about linguistic diversity we specify in Europe. Then for the precise geographical coverage, I understand that maybe it's all or parts. It's not specified. This means that the researchers they will construct the research object and they will decide how they want to plan this. However, because we speak about linguistic diversity, it's supposed to the call is supposed to give a kind of overview, so not focus, for example, on one language, but on coverage of languages and also on multilingualism policies of how language use is happening and encouraged or not encouraged.
Thank you, Ana Maria.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ana Maria. Let's go to topic number 1. How does the Commission see the role of education? No, this one we already saw it, so it's there. Sorry, because we have a list of potential questions and the other was also already covered. So topic number 3, should proposals prioritize small, low-resource cultural institutions as main beneficiaries and test environments? So topic number 3 is for Juliana.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, as a matter of fact, the vast majority of CCIs are small or medium organizations. That said, there is no requirement to specifically address low-resource cultural institutions. The idea is to have the entire sector grow in their capacity to master AI.
Thank you, Juliana. Let's go to topic number 4, again with Juliana. Expected outcomes systems for content provenance detection. Does this mean the development of a tool for content detection? Juliana, please, topic number 4.
Yes, if we look at the expected outcome number 2 of this topic, a topic where all expected outcomes should be addressed, they are not optional. The expected outcome number 2 requires the development of scenarios, value chains, standards, and robust agile solutions to ensure transparency and trust in the generative AI supply chain. So this reference to systems for content provenance detection of AI-generated and manipulated creative content are parts of this AI supply chain. So these are some of the aspects that should be addressed within this expected outcome.
Thank you, Juliana. Let's continue with topic number 4. Is a proposal focused solely on generative artificial intelligence fully in scope, or must it address the broader other emerging technologies that is mentioned in the call title? By the way, thank you for your interest. We are more or less halfway of the event and we have already covered many questions. So please, Juliana, this topic 4 question.
So this is heritage number 4.
Yeah.
In the call title, I don't see a reference to other emerging technologies. In any case, yes, a proposal addressing generative AI is fully in scope. We leave always flexibility, a wide scope for flexibility. Also, especially whenever we address technologies that evolve so quickly. So any reference to other emerging technologies is conceived to allow for maximum flexibility and to address developments that might happen from the time when the call topic is developed and between the time the call topic is developed and the time the projects are proposals are drafted and projects implemented. But definitely generative AI is the main objective of this call topic.
Thank you, Juliana. Let's go with Anna Maria for topic number 6. The call suggests a lot of very different areas of intervention, tourism, housing, etc. Is it expected that a consortium will address most of them?
Yes, thank you for the question. So the consortium should address the expected outcomes, and then in the scope we have detailed, and there should be, they should pay attention to the use of the should and the coulds, meaning that should are mandatory elements and the coulds are suggestions that would make a better proposal. But if they look at the expected outcomes, I think they can choose which areas are most suited for responding to those.
Thank you, Ana Maria. Let's continue with topic number 1. How strong does the formal research component need to be? Is it about having PhDs in the team or more senior affiliations? So Juliana is topic on artistic intelligence that is receiving a lot of attention and attraction this morning.
Yes, thank you. I'm very glad about that. Again, what is not specified in the call topic is not a requirement. And it is up to the consortium to build an excellent proposal that presents or proposes a very strong and sound methodology. So if you find that PhDs would contribute to this, they are welcome, but the main focus is on artists here. So the research part should be present, but it's up to you to decide how to integrate the various aspects in order to contribute to the expected outcomes.
Thank you, Juliana. Chances are that we continue with you. For example, with topic number 4. What is the recommended way to ensure representation across the full CCSI spectrum, e.g. Stakeholder Advisory Board. Juliana, topic number 4.
Yes, thank you. Again, we do not have specific advice there. It's up to the proposals to define how to best address the needs of CCSIs. You might have a stakeholder advisory board, but you're not required to.
Mm-hmm. Heritage number 3, so with Juliana, is collaboration with calls on STEAM education encouraged? And is the deadline September 2027? I don't know if we lost that question. So and actually I don't know if it was fully on scope. If you want to pick up.
I can quickly reply that collaboration and synergies are always welcome, provided they contribute to the expected outcomes of the call topic, and the deadline for this call for all of these topics is fixed for September 26, not 27.
Thank you, Juliana. A little confession to the audience. I have access to a short list of potential questions, and the 3 of them are on 01 topics, so we keep having a lot of attention to artistic intelligence topic. 01, if developing an IT product is not required, would it still be recommended to include a technological or digital innovation partner in consortium?
I'm afraid that the reply to these questions is always more or less the same. It's up to consortia to decide. The development of technological pilots is required in case you choose Focus 2, that is specifically on pilots on emerging technologies. If you do not focus on, if you do not choose Focus 2, then it's up to you to decide which type of challenges you want to address with your proposal, and if they involve technologies or technological development of any kind, then you might include a technological partner in your consortium. Otherwise, you would not need it. Any partner of a consortium, of course, should be should play a role to achieve the aims and objectives of the proposal.
Thank you, Juliana. Let's continue with topic number 1. Does the call also accept fundamental and artistic research if it directly supports cross-disciplinary innovation?
Definitely, this is welcome. Easy answer here.
Thank you. Short and quick. Could proposals in topic number 1, again, that use Focus 1 involve element of Focus 2 and have technological solutions, even if the key focus is on skills development? We continue with Juliana.
Well, you know, experts will be involved in the evaluation of these proposals based on the text of the topic, and they will evaluate the quality and the soundness, the excellence of proposals. So if there is a reason for involving technological solutions while addressing Focus 1, it will be up to the proposal to demonstrate the need and to include these in the methodologies and the approach they suggest to pursue the expected outcome of Focus 1.
Thank you. We can continue again with topic number 1. I lost the question I was about to read. Topic number 03, artificial intelligence. What would you say is the default legal definition of an ethical solution? So topic number 3 on artificial intelligence, we continue with Juliana De Francesco.
Yes, thank you very much. This is quite a broad question, and I would suggest you to refer to all the legal and policy documents that are being developed by the EU on this, from the AI Act to all other guidelines and recommendations. I don't know if Maria Claudia perhaps wants to comment on this, but
the AI Act is the entry point, and then you can go to other recommendation and also inputs from the Commission side.
Thank you, colleagues. Let's continue with topic number 1. can the project be run in a small series of a strong national contract that produces evidences and recommendations, or does it need to be pan-European? Topic number 1, artistic intelligence. Juliana, please.
Thank you. I'm not sure I correctly understand the question. It doesn't need to be pan-European. It does to involve several EU countries. It cannot be focused only on one country, but if the series of national contexts contribute to a shared approach or build a shared view and methodology, that is definitely possible. Yes, it is a methodological approach that I would say the proposals are free to choose, provided that they keep an eye to the EU context, not focus only on one national context.
Thank you, Juliana. Yeah, I feel maybe there is a tone in many questions shared. Let's say we are not prescriptive on how to do things. It's up to the applicants, the consortia, to decide, and what is not forbidden is allowed. So, would photography-based visual literacy and contextual interpretation fit Heritage 01, artistic intelligence again, as an arts-based educational solution identified in the research?
This is a very specific question, and we are totally open to any artistic approaches, sectors, areas. It will be definitely up to the consortium and the proposals to suggest which areas to address and how. And yeah, we are very interested in what will come.
Thank you. Let's pass to topic number 4. Does content provenance detection in outcome 2 include linguistic analysis of AI? Sorry, I lost the question. It disappeared from my list. I was halfway. Maybe there has been some little technical problems. So we have the opportunity to change. Voila. I think it comes back. Does content provenance detection in outcome 2 include linguistic analysis of AI influence at scale, or only technical metadata watermarking? Topic number 4. Again on AI. Juliana, please.
Yes, thank you very much. I think we already addressed this aspect of content provenance detection. It's detection of AI-generated and manipulated creative content. It's not in general content provenance detection. And the whole topic does not prescribe which type of technologies or approaches should be covered. It will be up to consortia to propose.
Thank you, Juliana. We pass to topic number 5, again with Juliana. Our project can be only for research or also for intervention. Can we implement one of the solutions identified in the research? Intervention maybe means implementation. Please, Juliana, topic number 5.
Thank you very much. I have two small parts of, two small bits of information to reply to this question. First of all, this is a research and innovation action. So we need the research part, but also the innovation. And if you look at the two focuses among which you can choose, you are required to develop pilot projects, meaning, yes, you should develop interventions as well that fit into the research and innovation that proposals will be developing.
Thank you, Juliana. Let's come back to topic number 1 on artistic intelligence. What indicators are the most relevant to demonstrate effective communication and dissemination? Juliana, please.
Yes, no, I'm a bit sorry to disappoint you, but we don't have a reply to these questions. It will be up to consortia to suggest the way they find most suitable to demonstrate effectiveness.
Thank you. For proposals in topic number 1 on artistic intelligence, for proposals involving digital tools, what balance is expected between methodology development, pilot implementation, and technical development? Juliana, please.
the topic does not prescribe a specific balance between these three aspects. They should, of course, all be addressed, and the balance between them will be defined within the proposal.
Exactly. Thank you, Juliana. It's what we commented. We are not prescriptive, and it's up to the judgment of the proposals to set up a credible and convincing and high-quality proposals for the evaluators, independent evaluators, to evaluate and judge. We continue. Let's pass to topic number 7 with Maria Claudia. With regard to the suggested cooperation with the cloud, European Cloud for Cultural Heritage, Collaborative Cloud for Cultural Heritage, and Europol Innovation Lab, are both aware of the topic and the fact that proposers might contact them? Maria Claudia, please.
Yes, thanks for this question. Yes, they are both informed. The call is public, so they know very well, and they feel free to reach out to understand how to cooperate in case you're interested. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria Claudia. We are less than 10 minutes left before I conclude with a couple words in this info session. Let's come back to our topic number 1 on artistic intelligence. Now the question is, why are CART and STARTs mentioned in the topic? Should they be involved in the consortium or engage in project activities? Juliana, please.
Thank you very much for these questions. CART and STARTs are indeed mentioned in the topic because they are two long-standing initiatives brought forward by the Commission. And they are producing evidence, they are producing very interesting reports. They could inspire proposals and provide several relevant references for the development of your proposals. That said, there is no need to directly involve any actor in these networks, or even to include them as consortium partners. They are mentioned because they are on the ground for more than one decade and demonstrating that we are ready to move from experimentation to really consolidation of this approach and making this a tool at the disposal of policymakers. That is what we want to achieve, also what we want to pursue with this topic.
Thank you, Juliana. Let's go to topic number 5 on creative alliances. Focus 2 needs to be focused in several regions or focus in one. Juliana, please.
Thank you. This is about cooperation of Europe with other regions of the world. So it could be one region or several. This is up to proposals.
Thank you. Let's go to topic number 1. What indicators are the most relevant to demonstrate effective communication and dissemination?
I have the impression this question is very similar to one that was already addressed, and the answer is proposals can suggest the indicators that they find most suitable.
Okay, let's continue with topic number 1. Want to clarify whether 60,000 euro financial support to third party is total maximum or maximum for each third party, legal plus financial setup, text mentions to each party. Juliana, please.
Yes, thank you. 6,000 euros as FSTP in this topic and in any other is the total budget available for cascade funding. This is a if there is a budget fixed, is the total amount that you could devote. If perhaps Ricard wants to elaborate on that.
Yeah, I can maybe add to this because financial support to third parties is allowed in many of our topics in this work program. And what is applied, as Juliana has mentioned previously, is the general financial rules of Horizon Europe. And this means that the maximum of 60,000 euros is the maximum amount to be granted to one specific legal entity during the life of one project funded under this topic. I hope this is a little bit clearer. If you have more detailed questions on financial rules, there are also the possibility to take part in the dedicated session this afternoon. But just on general terms, the way to understand it is as a third party, which is a legal entity, which is not part of the project consortium, cannot receive more than 60,000 euros in total from one project.
Exactly. And if you have any main questions that you find interesting, of general interest, you can submit them also after this session through the research inquiry service, and we will be replying in writing.
Maybe I can also add that a proposal itself decides how much of the project budget will be dedicated to third-party funding, and also how to distribute this in one call, in several calls, in smaller grants. Small grants can also be smaller than 60,000. 60,000 is the maximum of during the project life. And you could also theoretically give several grants to the same legal entity as long as the maximum of 60,000 is not surpassed from one Horizon Europe project.
Thank you, Ricard. Thank you, Juliana, for your comprehensive reply. And yeah, I will mention later on in the last final words also these opportunities to get extra information. I think we have time for one, maximum two questions. So I am going to switch to topic number 6 just to have more diversity. To Ana Maria, is the call focus on traditional minority languages, for example, Basque? Can we disregard immigrant languages, e.g. Arabic? Ana Maria, please.
Yes, thank you. So, as I said, the topic is on linguistic diversity, and we don't make difference between languages. So, any language is valid. They can be regional languages, minority languages, and there are two differences. So, first, it's describing this richness of languages in Europe. And then the other stage would be then, for example, on the maps or in the research papers, also talking about the statutes that these languages have, because regional, minority, immigrant, these are labels that we put on languages depending on different conditions in the society. So, as I said, all languages are eligible, and there are no hierarchies between the languages.
Thank you, Ana Maria. Yeah, we advocate for cultural and linguistic diversity. So let's go to, sometimes I even have doubts if we have not covered this, so very similar question. Should the project focus primarily on integrating existing AI solutions into workflows, or is the development of new tools? Is topic number 3 with Juliana.
Yes, thank you very much. I think, yes, you're right. We might have addressed a similar question before. As mentioned, the aim of this topic is to address the entire workflows in CCIs and see what's missing, what's needed, what are the gaps in terms of skills, solutions, etc. So, in order to address these needs and gaps, proposals might choose the approach that they find most effective. So new solutions are very welcome whenever they are missing. But if there is an existing solution that for some reason would solve an issue, would address a need expressed by the cultural and creative sectors and industries, I would say that the implementation of these existing solutions in these different contexts would be definitely acceptable in a project proposal. In general, the requirement is the excellency of the proposal and the soundness of the methodology they suggest, so how effectively they will be addressing the expected outcomes.
Thank you, Juliana. Maybe risking to get half a minute late, I am going to go for a last question on topic number 7 for Maria Claudia, just to visit other topics that have not been so much covered. What are the eligibility conditions regarding the background and the nature of the partners? Of course, eligibility conditions are in the work program, but please, Maria Claudia.
Yes, thanks for this question. It's very similar to the previous one. So the scope of the topic is really multidisciplinary. That's why we have two obligations here. The first one is to have a security practitioner in the field, because they are the one acting on the issue of illicit trafficking. So we have the mandatory condition of having at least 3 of them. But then, being an Horizon project, we need also scientific knowledge. That's why we are requiring at least 2 research universities with scientific foundation and expertise in illicit trafficking. Then I will suggest you to read carefully the text of the topic, because in this case, there is also an interesting exception for non-associated countries that can be part of the project, again, because of the scope of the topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria Claudia. And if I am not mistaken, we are kind of 5 minutes left for the end time of our info session. So this question on topic number 7 has been the last question that could be addressed in these 55 minutes that we have for questions and answers. So before we conclude, let me briefly comment a couple of points before we conclude. First of all, in the info days, I always like to touch the topic of synergies, because we in the Commission, we encourage projects to reach synergies, to get the most from every euro of public money invested on research and innovation actions. The synergies can mean, first of all, funding synergies, so your projects could get complementary funding through or by from other European, national or regional sources, public programs, and also, why not, private funds. But synergies can also mean that the solutions, the outcomes of your projects find a take-up in other programs. Here I could mention the take-up of solutions from research on European Social Fund or European Regional Development Fund. Likewise, also projects are encouraged to get complementarities, to work together with other projects on research and innovation action from Horizon Europe. And here, of course, we need to start mentioning other projects in Cluster 2. Likely in the future, you will be cooperating with other projects in Cluster 2. And I would like to mention 2 particular initiatives in Cluster 2, very important initiatives: the European Cloud of Cultural Heritage, and also the European Partnership on Resilient Cultural Heritage that will kick off very soon. And you are also invited to get complementarities with other European initiatives, such as the Common European Data Space on Cultural Heritage, and the European Institute of Technology, the EIT KICS, and here we must mention the EIT KIC on Culture and Creativity. A couple of practical recommendations that in some way have been already touched by my colleagues during the questions and answers part of this session. When you are preparing your proposal, please read the work program carefully, with attention. This includes also the introduction, because the introduction provides you with the policy background or the policy rationale of our topics. I invite you even to also take a look to visit the general annexes of the work of the Horizon Europe program that have been mentioned at least by Juliana, because some of your questions can be found in the general annexes. And sometimes even in the work program, for example, we speak about Annex 5. There we are speaking about the General Model Grant Agreement and its annexes. So all this documentation is the only source of knowledge for you to prepare an ambitious and credible proposal. And second, another recommendation we always say in the info day: please don't wait until the last moment, the last day and the last hours to submit your proposal, because there can always be technical problems in the IT systems, and deadline is 5 p.m. the day of the deadline, which is 23rd of September, and after that there won't be opportunity to submit your proposal. The deadline is indicated in the published work program. Your chances to get information don't conclude here with this info session. As mentioned, for example, by Juliana, you can submit your questions in the Research Enquiry Service. You are also invited to consult the frequently asked questions on the Funding and Tenders portal. And of course, you are invited to get in contact to rely with the network of national contact points, because they are providing on a daily basis high quality advice for proposal applicants, both to set up a good consortium, to set up a good proposal. We want to know how we did it today in this info session, so please feel free to scan the QR code that you are seeing in your screens, so you can fill in a satisfaction survey for us to know if we did it well or what we need to improve for next editions of this info session. We are concluding. I think it has been a very interesting, enriching and intense session. Thank you very much to all the audience for their active participation. When I checked before coming here and sit down for this info session, I saw 500 people connected, which is already impressive. Thank you for your interest. Thanks also to my colleagues, Juliana, Ricard, Maria Claudia, and Ana Maria, who was online, for their excellent answers. I hope we have given some information, some answers to your doubts. Also, thank you to the colleagues who are on the backstage in the TV studio to ensure a good coordination and a smooth flow of this info session. Now, good luck with your proposals. Remember, we opened 12th of May 2026, the call for proposals, and we closed 23rd of September. Thank you very much for your participation, and greetings from Brussels. Thank you. Bye.